So we're 6 feet away, so that's why I'm going to have to pan back and forth between.
Oh, okay, good.
All good.
We don't get as close as you guys do yet.
Yep.
So we're already going out the window.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What's new? I haven't actually seen you guys in person for a little while.
I know, it's been a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long has it been?
A couple weeks, I'd say.
Yeah.
Months since we did a dinner together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is it
Nothing
time?
much.
Is it time for Kelly to go back to work yet, or what?
Well, you know what? I was thinking about this today, coming on here. It's been, I think, since we moved back here in '98, so 22 years that he has been home at this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Usually this is just me here. Or, I mean, obviously when
Because
we
the
had the
playoffs
kids,
would have started yesterday.
Oh wow!
Wow.
yeah, so he's
Mhm.
usually gone to
Mhm.
Toronto at this time. So I'm usually single for a couple of months.
Yeah. So how do we feel about that?
Well, he
that's
screwed up all my plans for the next.
that's
2
why
months
she's
now.
grumpy today.
Right? That's amazing. Well, I kind of already did, but I did want to introduce you to Jason, the president of Hearth and Home here. Yeah, I've been here at Hearth and Home for about the last year, but of course Jay's been here a lot longer. And I did mention in one of my lives earlier that Jay's dad and uncle, Lanny and Preston, had started the business 35 years ago.
Yeah.
And so they've got quite the legacy, but I wanted to flip it over to Jay for a little bit, and he wanted to kind of introduce himself and chat with you guys and had a few questions.
That'd be awesome.
There he is.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for taking the time. Matt's told me a lot of great things about both of you guys. Mav is one of the cutest kids I've ever seen.
Right?
All right.
Yeah, we've seen some good grandma and grandpa pictures there.
Yeah.
I think he's got the ability to be a goalie, or is he going to be a...
Let's just stick with being cute right now. That's all we care about right now.
I think he's more built like a linebacker.
Yeah. That's okay. When my son was 3, I thought he was going to be a ballet dancer the way he moved around, right? This is going to be really interesting. And then the next thing you know, he pretty much punches me in the stomach about 10, 15 times a day, just wants to tackle me all the time. So I think ballet's out the window for him.
Yeah, I think so.
This is really cool that you guys would take the time to come on as a family tonight. So, I mean, family is one of the most important things here at Hearth and Home. So when Matt was saying both of you guys were coming on, I was just through the moon because, it's just an important time to see people connected, right?
Yeah.
Not just one face, two face, but to see you guys together there is just a real gift to the community, I think. And with spitballing with Matt here, boy, we probably had 10 to 15 pages of questions.
I'm going to need more wine.
All for Donna. We're going to try to keep this to about 30 minutes just to honor your guys' time. Maybe some 10 or 15 minutes of question and answer or something like that. But we appreciate you guys coming on. Or we could just go until the wine's gone. You guys.
Well, I got a lot of wine.
I've had a few of those
That
nights.
would not be pretty at the end.
Matt, you know that one.
Those are my favorite times.
So, what we're looking to do with this series of chats is to just to bring some value to the community, right? And what we noticed from speaking with Chris last week from Goodpin, and then getting a chance to talk to you guys tonight, is you guys are people who are doing good things for the community that you've chosen to live in. So, I'm grateful that you've chosen Calgary as your home base. When you've got the means to choose anywhere you'd like. And then I'm obviously grateful for your commitment to the community and the give back as well. So absolutely, we'll get some time to chat about that tonight, but thanks to you guys for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What we're realizing is, working in the business realm here is that, I'm going to try not to make everything about a sports analogy and, but I cannot guarantee that. I can't guarantee it. So I'm curious about the extra gear, right? We've got folks in Calgary right now who, are being challenged. The dynamic is interesting. Folks all over the world. And so I think back to, whether it's a playoff game or whether the extra gear that Donna finds when Kelly's packing up and getting on the plane and you've got, 3 beautiful young girls to look after. Do you guys have any stories or anything you can share about how you found that extra gear? You know, because I think often as humans, we're often surprised of what we can do, right? So is there something you can share with us about, you know, the Hrudey extra gear?
Well, if you want to use it in relation to sports, then in my case, hockey, I'd have to say that not all times have been rosy. There's no question that our heartache, our hardship. I personally have gone through 4 work stoppages, which I think a lot of people on this Instagram can relate to right now, because it's very difficult with the pandemic, and finances are tight for people. And listen, none of us like to go through times of stress and when you're challenged financially and all that. But that is when I think it's most important for us to stay together.
Be the team.
Be the team. That's right.
That we signed up for.
Yeah.
And it's just what we've lived for, almost 36 years.
Yeah.
We've been together 36 years. Is just, we're in it together.
Yeah.
Which is
through high times and low times.
Yeah.
You know, your bank account sometimes is up here and sometimes it's down here, but this is what remains.
Yeah.
So,
you know what, I think most couples, you get to a point where, you know, sometimes he's got to lean on me for support, and I know when I have to step up, and the same, like we just, I don't know, it's always, we've kind of recognized that and the importance of it.
Yeah.
And we'll always get through it. Always.
And that's what we want to remind Calgarians about, that, just stick together in these times. And you are not alone. Like, everybody's feeling the stress.
Yeah.
And it's not something that we've done individually. We didn't create this on our own. This is just something that we have to deal with. Yeah. And we don't like it, but we can do it.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're saying, but it started with a level of commitment, right? Like there's a level of commitment, whether it's on a sports team or whether it's in a relationship or whether it's in a business environment, where it's almost like the first move is we commit, right? Yeah. And we're going through this together. And, you know, I think there's opportunity in relationships right now that could go both ways, right? We're either planting the seeds to create, you know, to learn something new about each other and move forward in a new dynamic, or we could be planting seeds where we're going the opposite direction, right? So that's what I'm hearing. That level 1 commitment, you know, is kind of where it starts from. And I know one of the things we love at Hearth and Home is then let's get creative, right? Yeah. Let's put a smile on. Let's be able to honor the space that we're in, but that doesn't mean we have to let be anchored down by fear, right? So if I'm a rookie and it's my first game 7, I'm probably feeling some fear, right? Yeah. Or your first NHL game, you're feeling some fear. Who were the guys in the room, or if you don't want to say who were the guys, what type of personality is it that that helps that pulls you out of that space of fear, you know, that kind of says.
I know definitely what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And the first real influential guy that I clung to, sort of, I really gravitated towards, was in my first year with the New York Islanders, and we're playing the Montreal Canadiens in the 3rd round of the playoffs. So the winner will go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, keep in mind, the Islanders had just won their 4th consecutive Stanley Cup, but they're winding down, like they're running out of gas. Yep. We go to Montreal and we lose the first 2 games handily, by the way. And I just remember getting on the plane, and Brian Trottier was not nervous whatsoever. He had a smile on his face and just the same step and enthusiastic look. He didn't look overly concerned. You know, he may have been inside, but outwardly what he was showing us, and in particular a young guy like me, that it's okay, we'll get through this, and you know, let's just continue doing the same thing and we'll be okay. But I loved your comment also about let's not let the fear get the best of us. And Donna and I were watching the news during this whole thing, and I'm not going to mention the station or anything, but it's just a little bit too negative for us. Like, it's just fear, fear. And it's next to impossible not to to listen to it
Yeah.
and be overcome with it. But then we had a nice chat about it, and we're like, oh boy, they've got to change the message a little
well,
bit.
we turned it off.
Yeah,
We turned it
Absolutely.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been making, my family and I have been making the exact same decision where it's just time to turn it off, right?
Yes.
So, but I can only watch so many old Toronto Raptors games or or listen to so many, vintage Calgary Flames games or whatever.
Yeah. No kidding.
It'll be fun to get the live stuff back going.
yeah,
So-
well,
Yeah.
So there's like a presence that comes with an individual like Brian Trottier then, right?
yeah,
Like he has just found a way to embody without having to say anything, right? And I'm curious about the different type of leaders that you guys have experienced in your lives, or the different type of leaders that you are even. Where is it like, Donna, are you like so if you were a hockey player, Donna, would you be like an enforcer, a goal scorer, defense?
Scrappy forward.
Scrappy forward. Matt?
That's the one.
It's a compliment, honestly.
Okay. All right. All
Because I
right.
know you.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Geez. I think I'd be more of a coach.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'd be behind the bench more than on the ice. Or if I was, maybe a defenseman.
Yeah.
I think.
and I could tell you what she would be in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Teller of the truth,
Right.
and we all need that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've got plenty of examples in my life. My favorite story to share, though, is that this sweetheart of mine put me in my place in the early 90s when I had lost my way a little bit in dealing with the fans. I had no idea. I was 20-some years old. I had no idea how to behave, or I hate the word, but you're sort of becoming a little bit more popular, and there's no manual how to do that. And so
You're young.
I was young, and I wasn't as nice to some of the fans as I should have been.
Sure.
And I recall so vividly, guys, we're walking out of the LA Forum after a game at home, and there's a few people there, and I didn't blow them off, but I wasn't very nice, and I should have been way nicer to them. Mm-hmm. We get to the car. Before I can even put the key in the ignition, Donna looks at me and goes, "That's enough of that. You're going to go back to being the good guy that I've known you always in our history and from your days in Edmonton."
Yeah.
And that's what she does. And that's what you need in life. You need somebody to tell you the truth when you've lost your way a little bit.
Absolutely, we do. And it's, it kind of leads into, the next area I was curious about was it, I think when we're sitting at home right now and there's like this isolation type of feeling, we can get a little bit like too much in our heads, right? We're out in the world and we're kind of like, we're engaged, right? So, again, I'm, never played a high level of sports, but, I have the theory that, how much of the game is mental? And this is like, because this can be the game of life. It can be the game of parenting. It can be the game of hockey. Like, you get these guys at training camp and, 40 or 50 or 60 of them. And like, what's the true skill level difference? And then what's the upstairs difference?
Well, isn't it said in sports that every game is 85% mental? Like, you have to get there at some point. I mean, you still need the talent to get there.
Yep.
Excuse me. But if you do get there, then to last and be somewhat successful, it's how you approach the game and how you can rebound. The biggest thing is it's how you can rebound from a bad game or failure or a stretch that's not very easy to go through. And I think that's one of the things that this whole thing is kind of reminding us, teaching us again. And, we don't know what it's going to look like when it ends and how we're all going to be affected. But I think right now, the best approach, we're about a month into it, is that, you've got to find a way to not let your brain get in the way and pollute you. Our daughter, Caitlin, taught us the greatest line or greatest word about mental health, and the loop in your brain. Right. And like you said, the self-isolation, it can be terrible, right? Because your brain just overthinks, overworks.
Yeah. So would it be fair to say then, like when Donna holds you accountable like that and makes a comment, that how you be off the ice ultimately affects how you play on the ice, right? Like can guys just switch off and on like that? Like, can you be, Can you be a dick off the
Yeah.
ice? Yeah.
Although I can't speak for every guy I played with.
Yeah.
I was wired a certain way.
Okay.
And to play, my brain had to function in a particular way.
Right.
Routines were important to me, and I think that what we're all learning now in this pandemic is our routines are all getting thrown aside.
Yeah.
And Donna, I know she's laughing because
Yes,
I have. And she pointed out to me last week, we're having a glass of wine watching Netflix or something, and it was getting close to bedtime. and she went through my routine from the moment I get up to at night. And I didn't really even notice it, but because of the absence of my regular routine during a hockey season, my brain needed to create a new routine because that's comfort for me.
Yeah. Well, and it produces results for you as well. Like, you know, we're a process-driven organization. So when you find a routine or the right process, you're going to get those type of results from it, right?
Right.
But if it's not producing the results you want, how tough is it to break a habit or a routine, right? So that's obviously where the coaching comes in then. So Donna's the coach.
Yeah.
This is good to know, right? Yeah. Got the film here. Yeah.
I actually want to say just one thing I think will make you guys laugh when we were talking about the routine. How you guys were over, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, sitting on the couch, you know, after whatever. This has happened a few times. I love it. It's such a great character. Like, well, I guess it's time to go. See you guys.
Right.
And then he's like,
Well,
where do you
look
go?
over, I go, where are we going? We
Yeah.
have nothing we can do. We're
You
going
gotta
home.
stick to the
That's
routine.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so if we need to take like a 20-minute intermission here or something like that, just let us know. That's all part of
right
it.
now. He's good right now. Yeah.
So the coaching is important. So you've obviously had some great coaches moving through life. You've got an amazing partner who helps coach you. I think one of the things I've learned in life is I don't know it all. And I need that outside support in so many different forms. I mean, at Hearth Home, we have a power play coach. You know, we've got a defensive coach here.
Right.
So we invest in these people that can help us change a perspective or our mindset, right? So maybe speak about the I Got Mind platform here, because it feels to me like there's an opportunity for people to know, especially in these times, like it's okay to get a coach, whether that, you know, I'm calling it a coach here, but that can come in many different forms.
Oh boy, where do you start? My good friend Bob Wilkie, he started I Got Mine a number of years ago, and I didn't really know what he was doing with the program, and I wanted to get familiar with it. So, well, he wrote a book, I believe in 2012, and he had a book reading. And Donna and I went, and it was extremely powerful. If you don't know Bob's story, he was a hockey player. He was drafted in the second round, just like I was. Played a little bit in the NHL, but not a ton. Most of his career is in the minor leagues, but he had a lot of trauma in his life, including he was on the Swift Current Broncos bus that crashed, and 4 of those young kids were tragically taken from us. And he writes about that in the book, and he knew for himself and others, there needed to be a different path. And whether you have trauma in your life, which I don't, I was pretty fortunate growing up. I didn't have to experience that and trying to find a way to get through that. I had other things that were weighing me down and things, but Bob came up with this really cool concept. You guys will love this. I went, I think, twice, and he's speaking to young kids. I can't remember what age, ballpark around bantam hockey players. And he's giving this program, teaching them about the skills, how to become stronger mentally and go through good stretches and bad stretches. And then at the end of the program, this was so cool because I'm from the hockey community, right? We don't show love or emotion. But he goes, okay, who wants to be first? And a kid puts up his hand. He goes, okay, Brian, who are you going to tell that you love them? And so Brian stood up and he goes, hey, Jerry or whatever, Austin, I love you. And then another kid would put up his hand, hey, William, I love you. And it was like transformative to me. I'm like, seriously? Like we can be this in the hockey community? And so Bob has continued this on, and he's done tons of research. He is a clinician, Sean O'Grady.
Yep.
Sean is affiliated with Hull Resources, which people in the city might recognize, a great program. And I join them whenever I can, but it was almost 3 summers ago. Donna and I were out at Predator Ridge, and Bob called me in July and said, hey, I'm starting this program, and it's going to look a little bit different. And he goes, I wonder if you'd like to be in. I put up my hand. I'm in. It's that simple, because he wants to change lives through mental health, and it's beautiful. And he's a really caring soul. He's got a great heart. Yeah. And, you know, we've got to support people like that, right?
Absolutely.
And there's no monetary gain. Like, you know, Bob's trying to make a living, and good for him. We all deserve that. But for me, it's just because I like to see people getting better and being happier. Absolutely.
And why can't we honor those guys that make a living at doing something that they love, which is
right
back and supporting a cause? Like that's just a beautiful thing. That's really touching, because it's I meditate every day, right? That's my way to stay centered and balanced, and try to process what's up here. But a big part of that is like shifting into this space, right? And allowing myself to feel some grief or process some stuff. But it's been my understanding that by honoring this heart, this love, this energy, it actually ends up opening up other parts of the mind anyhow, right? And I'm sure that's some of the studies that he's done. Like, instead of just focusing in on, you know, what are we doing up here? What if we can bring an awareness to other aspects of life? You know, I'll shift it over to Matt here, because he speaks so highly of you guys and about the light heart that your family has. You know, and I'm convinced that all things are created with a light heart, right? You've got they just move smoother. It's a little more joyful and everything. So that sounds like an amazing program, and he sounds like an amazing. What team did he play for? I want to say Minnesota or something. Detroit.
Red Wings.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Jay said shifted over to me, but I wasn't listening to anything before that, so I'm just gonna have to go with my.
This happens all the time at the office, by the way.
You should see our sales meetings. No, I'm just kidding. When we were kind of chatting earlier today and other days about what we were going to talk about, the thing for me that kind of stuck out, and I got emotional in the office when we were talking about it. The family.
Not make me cry, are you, Matt?
Well, yeah, he's Barbara Walters.
No, it's just I don't even really know what I wanted to say exactly, except that it's just the family aspect about it. You know, for families like ours that are really close and engage in a lot of, you know, dinners and hanging out and all that kind of stuff. Right now, this just really sucks. Like, more of just a statement. And I think everybody's fed up with it. I know I'm fed up with it. You know, all kinds of stuff's happening. Like, I mean, I guess couples are having to go through new tests that we haven't before. You know, Jess and I have been now married for 3 years. I hope that's right. I should have wrote that down.
You got to prepare better, man.
3.5 maybe. And it's been challenging for us, and it still is, but we're working through it. But I just mean, it's just really tough when you're used to having, you know, your 8 or 10 people on one side and on the other side, and you guys, you know, love and have each other for support, and then something like this happens, and now we can't even see you guys and give you a hug. Like, I'm not really sure where I was going with that, except that it sucks. And also, I guess the other thing that we were talking about was more about the mental health. And I know it's kind of a different transition, but I think that one of the things important to say is that it's okay to feel scared, especially right now with what's going on. I think
definitely
the uncertainty is one of the things I wanted to ask you about, and you guys kind of touched on it, but I feel like with the work stoppages and, you know, even I had written down, you know, Caitlin and the stuff that she went through, uncertainty in an NHL or in a broadcaster, that there's a lot of uncertainty. And I think it's okay to not be okay. We've kind of talked about that before. And that it's okay to reach out for help. And I guess one question, Donna, I'm not sure if this is really the right thing to ask, but
of course,
I know this is different than usual, but you guys are so used to Kelly being gone for, I don't know what it is, 200 days out of the year, let's say. Or more. Yeah, more playoffs.
About 220.
Yeah.
And just during the hockey season.
Yeah. So how is this for you, Donna, compared to, I guess, the last 35, 40 years worth of
Right.
tribulations, you know, because you've had to essentially be the anchor at home when dad's away, right?
Yes.
You know, I can't imagine how tough that's been on you, but obviously, you know, God picked a special person because you've been able to handle that. Like a lot of people wouldn't have been able to.
You'll get a good meal for that.
Yeah, right. So I guess if you don't mind just kind of touching on that, how are you doing with all this and whatnot?
You know what? Right now, it kind of just feels almost like we've got an early summer because we do spend every day when he gets home, usually mid-June until beginning of October, depending on what's happening in the hockey world, if he has to go somewhere for some exhibition games or something. But we're together pretty much every day for that amount of time. So I feel like we just kind of shifted into that mode a little early. This part is great. It's not being with you guys because we're so like every Sunday at the house, seeing Maverick, like I must see him, I don't know. Wait, I'm probably too much for a grandma, but whatever. I'm like,
Never too much for a grandma.
yeah, I know. I would see him every day if I could. And not being able to see him, and it's been great. Like Jessica's so good; she'll FaceTime me every morning. But seeing like Megan and Paul, and like I know we've had a lot more conversations on the phone and trying to do that, but it's not the same as, you know, giving you, like you said, like that physical touch, like giving the big hug and having you guys here for dinner or just hanging out or doing all our silly stuff that we like to do, our trips and all of that. So as far as Kelly being here, it's a little different. And it's just trying to find stuff to do because I don't know, I guess there is lots we could do. We're just not doing it, but you know, so it's good.
That's how her brain works.
Yeah.
She wants to get me really, really busy and cleaning things and all that.
Well, we are going to hit his office because that is just got to happen. That's been years and years and years in the making. So yeah, but it's been good.
But you know what? To Donna's point, we can't be selfish and we can't sort of break the rules. We need to have this pandemic end as soon as possible. And so as much as we'd love to see you guys every single day, and I miss so much our Sunday night dinners here at the house and all that, we just can't do it. We can't be selfish, and we've got to just do the right thing.
Yeah.
So I don't like it either, but we've got to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was just, I don't know. It was kind of just one of those things when we were talking about, that was the one thing that kind of really got to me. And it was just like, you realize when you said it out loud, like, this is just super crappy right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I know it's a lot worse for a lot of other people.
Yes.
I'm not trying to diminish that at all. It's just looking forward to whatever the new normal is that's more interactive.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
How are we doing for time?
Yeah, I think we're at 7:30 just about. So Jay's just got a couple things for you.
I've just got, here's the hardball question. And this one's going to Donna.
Okay.
What are the benefits of being married to a very flexible guy?
What used to be a flexible guy.
Girls, I know my daughters are watching. Cover your ears. Matt, look away. That flexibility is long gone.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll leave it with that.
Perfect. We've been doing a little program here at Hearth Home where we just, we try to catch somebody kind of, let's say, unaware, and we ask them, hey, what do you really like, or what do you really love about this person, right? So I'm going to put you guys on the spot here, and I'm going to say, hey, Donna, 3 things that you would love about Kelly.
Oh.
And Kelly's going to get to think about this.
You're
welcome. You're welcome.
To go first. 3 things that, well, there's a million, but my top 3 is his sensitivity. He's much like my dad. He's not afraid to cry. Now I'm going to cry. Not afraid to cry. His love for his kids and family, and his love for me.
Very nice.
Yeah, you know what? Now I know why you guys like Matt so much.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
no,
right?
that's what I mean.
Absolutely,
he fits in. We've cried many times.
And we don't know how flexible. We'll leave that for another program.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
Hey, I'm that guy that I cry at weddings.
Yeah.
I'm that guy, so I can't help myself.
TV.
Yeah, I cry watching TV.
Love it. Love it. Kelly, how about you? 3 things you love about Donna.
Oh boy.
Better be good.
Well, number one thing, because of the life I've chosen, and I'm sometimes during the hockey season, I get way too busy. And we talked earlier about my routine. She reminds me about family.
Nice.
And I have to break those routines. And even if I should put in a good night of work watching hockey, especially now that I'm doing both jobs, Hockey Night in Canada and Flames broadcast, she reminds me that I've got to take the night off and I've got to spend time with family. That's number one thing. It's a beautiful reminder. Her love of life. I love how she likes to spend time with me. We go golfing a ton together. Like, we truly are best of friends. And then lastly, that she's chosen me to love, and she gives all her love to me, and it's beautiful.
That is beautiful, guys.
Beautiful.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. This was so nice to get to connect with you guys. It really was.
Yeah, same.
You are just really great people. You know, we are so blessed to have Matt on the team down here. You know, I thank my lucky stars every day to have a quality guy like this, you know, coming to work from home.
Yes, you do.
I love that. So that's a beautiful thing. And we're just going to flip it back over to Matt. There's a few questions coming down from our tens of thousands of Instagram.
Yeah, we were going to do a Q&A, but it's more just comments. Everyone's just saying how big of hearts you guys have and how beautiful and lovely you are. So I just think that really speaks to the people that you are. This is just phenomenal. I don't really have any questions. I mean, I've asked you millions of questions over the years, and that's why I wanted to pass it over to Jay, because I feel like he was going to be able to unlock some of those things that I know, but I wouldn't think to ask. So it was a pleasure and a privilege to just sit here and listen and watch. Super. Thank you guys for your time. We really appreciate it. And, you know, from my end, I think we're good. Like, I just really appreciate the time. I know you guys get asked for this kind of stuff a lot. And even though you've got a bit more time these days.
Did Matt let you know we're doing this every day?
Yeah. It's our daily 7 o'clock catch up.
Right?
So
exactly.
we'll send over a case of wine.
There you go. I'll put it back to Jay to say goodbye, but bye, guys. Love you. We'll see you soon.
Love you too, Matt.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
We will.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for investing your time with us. And this was really neat. I feel really connected.
Right? Felt really good.
This was really good. Great
Fantastic.
to finally meet you.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
One day we'll come in and meet you.
That'd be fantastic. I heard Kelly drop by around Christmas time, and they actually let me out of my office, so I took advantage of it.
And it's a beautiful showroom and everything you have. It's big. I didn't really appreciate how big it was going to be, and then Matt walked me around. It was beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. We're really blessed here, right? We've made some good moves over the 35 years, and we just love making families' lives better. So, I know just having you guys on tonight did that. Mission accomplished. So thank you guys for being here. And I'll look forward to meeting you in person one day.
That'd be great.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.